Jakub, thank you very much for joining us all the way from Poland. You have been pivotal, along with your group, in trying to defend Polish pro-life laws. But can you tell us a little bit about the very substantial attack that's been taking place on your country's pro-life laws?
So we need to start from the beginning. From 1993, the Polish abortion law allowed abortion. There were like three exceptions where abortion was allowed. The first exception was when life of the mother was endangered. The second exception was when the pregnancy was a result of criminal act like rape or underage sex. The third exception was when there was a suspicion of some kind of little illness or deformation of fetus. And last year, based on the motion of more than 100 Polish MP, Polish Constitutional Court on October 22nd, 2020 ruled that the third exception, eugenic exception, is against Polish Constitution, Article 38 of the Polish Constitution. And it's very important to say that in Poland we had so-called legal abortion on a level like around 1,000 abortion per year. But the third exception, the eugenic exception, was responsible for more than 95% of all so-called legal abortion in Poland. So when the Constitutional Tribunal ruled that the third exception is unconstitutional, there was a huge so-called women's strike in Poland. And we had a very tough few months. And they first accept, of course, to make abortion legal, but then they, I think, failed because they started to demand, to finish the government, new election, and so on, so on. On January 27, 2021, the court was published a few months after the ruling. So we don't know what are the statistics, but between the ruling and the publishing of the tribunal rule, we had a very tough few months where people were on the streets, various demands. But this is not the case anymore in Poland right now. It's much more calm, and I think this unpeaceful time is over.
And so, has that ban on eugenic abortions been upheld?
Yes. After the publication, it's officially unconstitutional, so the government cannot change it, the parliament cannot change it. We would have to change the constitution of Republic of Poland, and that would demand much more than just simple majority in the parliament.
So your pro-life movement has held out against what was massively effective protests in terms of the media's perception of it, at least, but your pro-life movement held out and was successful in preventing the pro-abortion lobby from overturning that decision?
What we've seen was a massive flow of money from Western Europe that supported the anti-life protest. It was kind of funny because the leader of the protest was a gay woman. So it's nothing to do with her, the abortion. She's not going to have children, even though she protested a lot. And then we've seen a massive flow of money. So lots of these people made a lot of money during this time. But it was very, very brutal, very aggressive. So when it started, they demanded only, we want the third exception back. But at the end, it was anti-everything, anti-government and anti-everything. And I think that's why they failed, because of the aggression and because they demanded much more than just to bring back the third exception, that demanded full abortion up until the 9th month. And the Polish society is just simply too conservative to agree on that.
And was your government, I think it's the Law and Justice Party, was it supportive of the pro-life stance?
Well, most of the MPs that filed the motion with the tribunal, the Constitutional Tribunal, was from the Law and Justice. So the government, I think government was reluctant to do so because they didn't want to do. We introduced over the last few years several citizens' initiatives into the Polish parliament, where Law and Justice had majority. But they put this citizens' initiative, into some kind of parliamentary commission to discuss for discussion, and we call it, the parliamentary freezer, because we never heard of this citizens' initiative after they were put into the parliamentary commission. So Law and Justice was not very, happy to do that, but the expectations of the electorate, the expectations of the society was there. And the cleanest way of changing the law was to ask the Constitutional Tribunal. And it's, in my opinion, it's good because right now we need to change the constitution in order to make, abortion laws more liberal. If Law and Justice Parliament would change this, the next Parliament could change it very easily by the simple majority of votes. Right now, it's like written in the constitution that the third exception is banned.
And so is there a threat that a referendum might be called to overturn that constitutional ban?
There may be a referendum if the next government would be more liberal. I agree that they may ask the society, but I don't think that there is a majority of people who would vote for that. Of course, it all depends on how you ask the question. But for now, to change the constitution, you need like 75% of the parliamentary votes. So it's not likely to happen that way.
It seems from the outside as if Polish society is changing slowly but surely, and that maybe the younger generation aren't as pro-life as their elders. Is that the case, or maybe Poland will hold out and not overturn its abortion ban?
Well, of course, it's possible. Poland is a part of the European Union. Young people traveling all over the Europe. It's not only Poland. It's not only Polish case. Same in Ireland. I think the society is more and more liberal. But I think some things will remain. I don't believe that if we approach it right, that abortion will be fully legal in Poland. Right now, for example, what we are doing, and of course I see also a support from Ireland to do that. I believe the organizers promised me to put a little link of our PayPal account if you are willing and able to support this cause. But what we're doing right now in Poland is to focus on the situation of families who bringing toward the children with disabilities, some kind of little illness. Because once we ban this third exception, these children will be born Down syndrome children, Turner syndrome children. So what we are doing is lobbying right now our government that, okay, we did the first step, we banned the third exception, the Constitutional Tribunal banned the third exception, but what we need to do right now, and it's most crucial and most important, to do next steps. And next steps are, first, the families with children with disabilities, they cannot feel that they are left alone. So it has to be some kind of financial support to them, access to rehabilitation. They cannot feel that they are left alone. It would be shame for Polish pro-life movement. It would be a shame to Polish government if these families were left alone. We cannot say, okay, we are so happy, it's a great victory that we banned eugenic abortion in Poland, but now families, okay, that's your problem. So first we are focusing on proposals, legal proposals to change the law in order for these families to feel secure. The second thing, and it's also very important, because in some cases these children that will be born, they will not live a lot of time, like Down syndrome children. In some cases, these children will have only a few days to live, or maybe hours. So what we need in Poland right now is the network of what we call perinatal hospices. Almost in every major city should be a perinatal hospice, where a child that has only hours or days to live is taken care of. So, they have water, painkillers, the parents, they have psychological support. We want this network of perinatal hospices to be included in the public health system. And we hope that the government that allowed for the ban of the third exception, the eugenic exception of abortion, will take these next steps in order, to make these families, these people, really secured. And I think if we build this civilization of life like that, when people see that abortion is not the answer, that the child can be born and doesn't feel any pain because in the hospice they have, medicinal products that actually work. When parents are allowed to say goodbye to the child, when they can spend few hours with them, we hope that the mentality of the society will change, that people will see that this is much more humane than abortion itself.
Well, Jakub, thank you so much for joining us today from Poland, and all the best in your work.
Thank you so much.